Hello, and thank you for joining us for Tuesday Talking Points. Though we're talking today about Illinois, we think that all Republicans can benefit from the lessons that we learned here. This was an incredibly important election, especially when it comes to redistricting that the next governor is going to have control over. And it was really, frankly, a travesty that we couldn't pull out this election and that we risk a lot over the next 10 years. There's been a lot of talk since the election about who's to blame and why the Republicans didn't win. We have many of the moderates saying that Bill Brady wasn't moderate enough, and that's why he lost. And a lot of conservatives saying that he wasn't conservative enough and didn't rally up the base. But we think it's more important to look at all the things we learned from this election to help prevent it from happening in the future. So we've come up with what we call the top 10 reasons why Brady lost the election. Number 10, unions in the Cook County creep. We actually witnessed the unions dropping off carloads of people right in DuPage County, in Downers Grove in particular, of people that worked the precincts and to get out the vote the day of the election. DuPage County is bordered, of course, by Cook County, and it's steadily been creeping into DuPage County over the years. And not surprising, when they have 7,000 governmental agencies, almost twice as many as any state in the second position, it's no wonder they have plenty of people to come over to DuPage County. Number 9, Brady lacked the full support of the Tea Party. Now, we actually saw that and heard that from people from the Tea Party, that he failed to really fire them up and really get behind them. Now, they came out, of course, for a lot of the congressional candidates, but they really weren't totally behind Brady for whatever reason, and really failed to really get any large voting blocks, whether it be behind him, whether it be the Hispanic groups, the African American, or even the Polish groups, as did Adam Andrzejewski in the primary. Number 8, he did not convert the convertible. I actually ran across somebody the day before the election who I thought would be a staunch Republican, an executive with Bank of America, who didn't know if he's going to vote for who's going to vote for. So there were a lot of people in the middle, a lot of undecideds, a lot of independents, that for some reason the message just wasn't compelling enough to get them over. Number 7, the negative ads fizzled or even backfired. We saw that happen with a lot of people that we knew that said, the ads were just too negative, and also the ones that Brady ran against Quinn. It sounded like it was just a bunch of the same old stuff instead of putting the most positive foot forward. Unfortunately, negative ads work, but we did a very bad job at linking Quinn to Blagojevich and to really what Quinn had in mind. Number 6, this was a big one, overconfidence. Against our warning, many people did not run through the finish line, and quite honestly, I don't think we did either. We began to believe the polls, which had Brady leading Quinn even on election day. Now that is amazing. The polls were right on every other race except this one. We should have known that Michael Madigan and the Chicago machine was good for at least making up a 10-point lead vanish. So we should have prepared for a 15% lead going in November, but we dared to dream the inauguration before we had the votes. Number 5, he did not let his true personality show, at least not after the primary. We saw that happen with John McCain. We saw that happen even with George Bush. He was on a recent interview with Oprah Winfrey. He came across so genuine, so sincere, that I think even Oprah would have voted for him. But unfortunately, throughout all the commercials and the stump speeches, and I don't know who was coaching Brady, but it sure seemed like his true personality, which is just so genuine, so friendly, so professional, so family-oriented, just really didn't come across. Number 4, Illinois doesn't hurt bad enough yet. Now, here I go back to the fact that Illinois has 7,000 governmental agencies, and the unemployment rate in Illinois is not as bad as other states. I even had talked to somebody who moved here recently from Florida, who travels all around the country with Verizon. And he said that, Illinois is just a much better position than most other states in the country. And I think that's why Illinoisans didn't get out to vote for Bill Brady. Number 3, and before I continue, I want to say that I want to apologize, for the ahead of time to anyone whose feelings I hurt, especially those in Northern Illinois, because these 3 points are really kind of difficult to even admit, especially being from up here. Number 3 reason why I think Bill Brady lost was that the party, not just up here, but really across the state, seems to be more about persons or individuals, and really not the party or the principles. And everybody has their own agenda, and they're concerned about their own elections, and really didn't band behind what we had to do to get behind Bill Brady, and of course behind the Republican principles. Many candidates don't even know them, but that's unfortunate. I hope we can change it. Number 2, previous rivals were not highly visible. As gracious as Senator Dillard was following the primary, he, along with fellow DuPage GOP gubernatorial primary candidates, were mostly absent from the campaign. Now, with one exception, Adam Andrzejewski was out there quite a bit, but I rarely, if ever, saw them side by side. And I don't know if anyone really got out there and to galvanize their respective bases into a unified Brady camp. I'm sure we really didn't see it. I came here to Hinsdale, Illinois, really known as the Mecca of DuPage County Republicans, certainly one of the strongholds, to talk about the number 1 reason why I think that Bill Brady lost the election. And here it is. DuPage County didn't want it bad enough. Now, I know it's hard to accept and hard for me to say, and I hope I don't hurt too many feelings, but had DuPage County been more behind Brady, he'd be our next governor. And the numbers prove it out. 54%, only 54% of the voters in DuPage County voted for Brady. And even the day after the election, guess what? Our DuPage County headquarters actually closed. Now, those are 2 great examples of that prove out my point. And again, kind of hard to admit. But what we have to do from this is not play the blame game. We can't say Brady was too conservative or too moderate. And we can't say it's because of one township or one county even. What we have to do is learn from this election. I mentioned top 10 reasons, and I'm sure there's probably even more. And there's probably people that are far more qualified than I am to be able to really piece this all together. But one thing I do know is that we have to learn from this election. Well, we have to strengthen the party. We have to strengthen the state. If we strengthen the party, we can preserve the county and hopefully save the state. Now, unfortunately, Illinois had a choice. They could either pick someone that was for big government with high taxes, or someone with smaller government for lower taxes. And unfortunately, they chose the former. Now is why it's even more important for us to work hard and work smart to make sure that we can turn things around in 2012 and, of course, in the next governor's race in 2014. I'm Mickey Straub with Tuesday Talking Points. Thanks for joining us.